everyone, welcome to Vlogtober day 8. This is take 1,000,000 today. I've just been on my hands and knees rolling around the floor trying to find Hugo's ball that's under this chair. Hector's upstairs having a minute. We are trying a technique of not keeping the dogs together too much because it does cause a bit of tension. So, we don't like... But like Hector will just go and have half an hour in his crate and Hugo will just go and have half an hour in his bed and be separate, and then the other one can have like quality time with me without upsetting the other one. And especially while Kirk's at work, it's hard. And that's sort of what I wanted to talk about today. Now I have tried to film this a few times and just explain why over the weekend things got to me, and nothing in particular has happened. No one's like said something to upset me, but it's just like a feeling you get from not even failing. I've not failed, but things not going well. He's rolling round on his back and his ball's just like flung round and he's like, what? I'll show you him. Easy. I don't know if you can see him. Yeah, so the introduction of the dogs didn't go amazingly well. It didn't, you know, there was no blood drawn. Both dogs are still alive and well. And we're doing really well. We've made some serious progress this weekend. I'm really proud of Hugo because although he does typically like dogs when we go out, he's not a fan of like a puppy all up in his grill. And obviously this is his house, it's his territory. He can be quite possessive of me sometimes. And it's just been like a learning curve for everyone, and it's a settling in period. And puppies are hard work. And so me and Kirk understand that puppies are hard work. Hugo doesn't understand that because he's a dog himself and he's been used to life one way, and now it's all changed and we're all getting used to it. But he didn't really have a choice he didn't have a say in the matter. So, but he's doing really well and I'm really proud of him. But for the first, so Friday night was hard, really hard. And then Saturday, I was overwhelmed. I was in love with the puppy, and obviously I love Hugo, and it didn't go as we hoped. We expected it to go this way. Just like Hugo grumbling at him and not wanting him like jumping up, and he doesn't like it if he runs at him. And so it's like trying to teach the puppy what you should do, but also trying to teach Hugo that, you know, you don't rule the roost, you aren't in charge. And it's just hard, and I just felt like I didn't want to share it in case, not because anyone has said anything, but in case there was like an overwhelming amount of, you've done this wrong, you should have done this, you should have done that, you were going to fail, you did this badly. And I've never really had that on this channel. And I do think I'm quite sensitive to people's opinions. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but sometimes I very much dance to the beat of my own drum. But then sometimes I'm dissuaded from whatever this particular dance was, if we're going to use that phrase, which I wish I'd not now. Just because it sounds weird saying dissuaded from the dance. But you know what I mean, like I can be put off from doing what I think is a good thing to do from other people knowing better. And just, you know, I think people are very quick to fire advice at you and what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and you shouldn't like this and you're wrong for doing this. And I don't think that it's always very easy to admit when things have gone a bit wrong, and admit that, you know, that this is like a learning process for us. I'm not a dog expert, but equally, I'm not an idiot. It's okay to be in the middle. I do think that people can and sometimes do think that if you've done something wrong, that you're going to continue to do the wrong thing until you do it their way. And so I just didn't want, because I see like people will put stuff in groups on Facebook, like they'll even like the crochet groups, it happens. And this isn't aimed at anyone who subscribes to me, but it was just like me not wanting anyone from like outside of you lot, if that makes sense, because I just consider you all my friends. But I didn't want to admit defeat, because I think it's like people don't take well to it. People think that, oh well, she's done it wrong, so she's got to do it my way because I know what she should have done. And I just think I got onto a bit of a rant when I tried to film this earlier, and I'm probably still ranting now. I don't mean to, but I can't like form the words. I know what I mean. But like what I was saying about like the crochet groups is people, like there was someone the other day in one, and I couldn't tell you which one, but someone had said, what do they do with like all the snips like off your ends of yarn? And a lot of people were obviously like saying stuffing. Also, on a side note, I've seen someone on YouTube somewhere, and I don't know who it is. Kirk's just sent me a text message, and it disappeared before I could read it. It said something about tuna sandwiches. I'm like, what? That they don't just put the yarn snips into, like, when people use them for amigurumi, they like use two brushes, like cat brushes, to like soften them, and it makes it more like fluff. Interesting. Yeah, and someone said, what do you do with all the yarn snips? And people are like, oh, amigurumi. Or someone says, oh, I just throw them away. I don't need them, so I don't use them. Which I suppose if you don't make amigurumi, I don't know what else you would use them for. If you have any ideas, please let me know. And someone says, oh, I put them out for the birds. And rather than someone just going, oh, just make sure that it's not long enough for them to like injure themselves, or is it acrylic yarn that you're using, because it's not great for them. It's natural fibres that would be better, rather than be like saying, oh, that's not a great idea, which I'm not the judge of good or bad ideas. I don't want to be. But it was like, pretty much, you're an idiot, you shouldn't do that, you're going to kill a bird. And it's like, all right. And I think it can be a bit keyboard warrior-ish, but I do think it happens in real life as well, where you'll either say something or do something that's not, the best idea, or you'll say that you've done something wrong, and you've done it wrong, and you're holding your hands up and say, look, I cut my own fringe, it was a terrible idea. And people just think that other people are idiots, and I think there can be sometimes on the internet, but in real life as well. I think the internet has a lot to answer for. I think the internet and social media has given people, I don't want to say, I don't know, I was going to say like self-importance, but everyone is important, but almost like the authority on things that you don't need authority on, like how to make the best mashed potato. And people can, this is just me literally picking an idea from thin air, but I'm sure somewhere on the internet there is a literal argument about mashed potatoes, and rather than just going, oh, you prefer to put milk in, I prefer to put butter in, or whatever, people can like literally want blood until you agree that they're right. And so I think over the weekend, I'd met baby Grace, who we went to see again today, and I fed her a bottle. She was so cute. And then Charlotte was like, do you want to wind her? I was like, I have no idea what this means. Have the baby back. I think I did say that like when she's older I'll feel more comfortable, but at the minute, like while the head's rolling round, I don't want that responsibility, thanks. What was I on about? what am I on about? Yeah, so Friday had been baby Grace Day, pick up the puppy day. And the woman who we bought the puppy off was absolutely lovely. But she was like, I do this and I do that and I do this and I do that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then everyone was like, how's it going? How's it going? I'm like, not really very well, but I don't want to tell you it's not going very well. Like, this is like text from friends and family and stuff. And then at work, everyone's like, oh, he's so lovely. And what does Hugo think of him? Like, Hugo thinks that he needs to go back to where he came from because he's an awful being and he hates his soul. Which I don't think Hugo thinks that now. I think Hugo thinks that he's annoying and perhaps doesn't want him near him, but okay, you're living in the house as well. Kurt keeps texting me and I just wish he'd wait a minute. Not that he knows I'm filming. It distracts me and then I'm probably doing this face. But yeah, so I'd had that, and then plans of weekend things were cancelled, and I was feeling a bit mopey about it, like the whole world hates me. And then me and Kirk had a conversation, which we've had many conversations about the possibility of us never having children, which I'm not going to go into. But, you know, it's a thing. And, yeah, it was just a lot of things all piled up. And, like I said, I didn't want to admit that... It's not even that I didn't want to admit it, but I didn't want to talk about the fact that it wasn't the best, most magical Disney day ever. Because I didn't want... And I have found myself doing this as well with certain things, because, you know, my dogs are not perfect, my relationship is not perfect, my house is not perfect, I am not perfect, life is not perfect, but it's really hard to admit that life is not perfect sometimes, because it's really easy to share the good stuff and it's really difficult to share the bad stuff. And I was saying to a lady at work, like, it's dead hard. Like, there are certain people that if me and Kirk have had an argument, I will not breathe a word of it to him because they want you to fail. And I don't think any of you want me to fail. I don't mean that. I really want to reiterate that, like, this isn't about anyone on here, but it was like a just in case thing. But I think, like, we all do have the friend that what Kirk says, if you've been to Tenerife, they've been to 11erife. If you've broken your finger, they've broken the hand. If you've got a ham sandwich, they've got a pig in a bread factory. And I think there's but equally, you know, if you've, you know, had a really bad day, they've had a bad month. There's people that have got to be better than you or worse off than you, and we've all got that friend that knows better than you and they've done everything and you don't know anything. And like I say, there are people that if me and Kirk have had bad words, and we've never really had a massive argument. We've probably had 2 or 3 in 6 years that, and if you have an argument with your partner every single weekend, that's none of my business. It doesn't mean that I'm in a better relationship than you, but not everyone sees it that way. And I don't know why I'm talking about our relationship. I think it's just because I don't know. We're fine. Me and Kirk haven't fell out for once. No, I'm joking. Well, I'm not really. We haven't. But yeah, that's that. Like, this is me really rambling on now, but it was just basically me not wanting to admit that things weren't all sunshine and roses for fear of getting bombarded with dog advice, because I hate, and I'm sure people that have got children hate children advice on how other people raise their children, and it's the same for, you know, other things, whatever your thing is. But, you know, and I feel like Charlotte's probably had a little, and not even necessarily from people you know, but just like from reading an article in a paper or reading a magazine or something online, is that whatever you're doing is wrong. So I don't know, breastfeeding's best, then breastfeeding's the worst thing you can do, and then you should be proud to breastfeed in public, and so, but then maybe you should do this in public, and then, well, if you, and Charlotte was like, well, what if I am a bit shy to breastfeed in public? And I won't go into what she's chosen to do, but like, I'm sure, like, she experienced a similar thing of, you know, people know better. Everything you could, you know, it's, you can, I don't know, I can't form the words, I cannot form the words, but I do just think that like, if you Google something, you know, there's an argument for, an argument against, an argument why you shouldn't be Googling it. So I think it was a bit of a defence mechanism, and to not put a video up. Next door I've got really loud stairs, and sometimes I can't tell if it's their stairs, our stairs, a door, a car door, someone's knocking. Yeah, so Hugo, come here. Come here. Come here. I think it's just next door, mate. No one wants to visit us at 7 o'clock at night, I hope. Oh, no. It's like dinner time. Excuse me. Yeah, so this is a really long, rambly video, but it's the least angry of my rambles. Basically just saying, I'm sorry that there was not a video up. This is the reason why. This is a line in the sand, and I'm going to move on and be a bit more happier tomorrow. I have been happier today, but the day just sort of got away with me, and it's my first day on my own with the dogs, of like trying to keep everyone happy and stuff. It's hard. But yeah, so I hope you understand. I hope this has made some sort of sense. And I best go and get the puppy because he's starting to whimper. We're trying to crate train him, and it's really hard to, because like sometimes you put him in it and he's really happy because he's got his little bed in there, and he's got a little toy and a blanket, so he's warm and he's safe and he's cozy, and sometimes he's really happy and he's like snuggled up, or he'll play with the toy and then he'll snuggle up to it, and then sometimes he sounds like a caged chimpanzee because he's just going and rattling the cage, and you think, do I get him, do I leave him, what do I do? But yeah, anyway, I'm going to go. I hope this isn't I'm going to go. I hope this has not been too grumpy or negative. I do want my channel to be a happy place, but I do perhaps need to share the not so nice stuff, and just make sure that I'm not trying to portray myself as a more sunshiny person than what is really happening. I wasn't trying to not portray, like, I don't think about my image. I don't know, it sounds a bit snooty. I'm not trying to like portray myself as a better person than I am, because I am an idiot who makes mistakes, and usually I'm good at owning up to them, but sometimes it's hard. But anyway, I'm going to go. Thank you all for watching. I will see you tomorrow. I can't believe tomorrow's day 9 already. I feel like I've posted like 2 videos. I haven't done really any crochet. I did a few rounds today on a hexagon, but I've now got like 1.5 hexagons because this puppy is taking up so much time. And tomorrow we've got the vet, so I don't think in the morning, and then Kirk will be at work, so we shall see. But I'm going to go. I'm going to catch up on some YouTubes, and I will see you all tomorrow with hopefully something. Thank you all for watching. Good night. Bye. I don't know what to say.